When you get through watching this short video, you're going to have an understanding of the systematic approach we're taking to building cabinetry from plywood using TSO's Parallel Guide and our guide rail square. So let's use as an example an actual build that we've got going, because we need some storage space here. Heaven we do, and perhaps you do too. So let's take a closer look at that, and first of all, consider the approach that we're taking to tool design. One thing about precision tools you need to keep in mind is that they themselves have one basic requirement: they must not contribute to defects or inaccuracy in your workpiece. On the other hand, an accurate tool is no guarantee of accuracy in the results, because woodworking is still a craft, and you need tools and you need technique. The best way to illustrate this is to do it in an actual project, and what we're going to do is build a 7-foot storage shelf that we need here, and we're going to build that from this 4x8 sheet of plywood, and also have some backing material, 6 millimeters, 1/4 inch back panel. So let's go take a closer look. The first step we're going to take in rip cutting is to begin and create a smooth, straight edge along the entire piece. And to do that, we've already joined the guide rails together, so we've got the adequate length, enough that there's at least 7 inches at either end to start and stop the saw outside the workpiece. And to trim this, we just need to cut off about 1/4 inch, and I'm using a piece of leftover backing board to adjust this. This does not need to be very accurate. It just needs to be enough material that you're trimming that you really end up with an uninterrupted, smooth and straight workpiece. So we're good to go. And here we have our trimmed piece, and we have a very nice, smooth and straight edge the entire length of this sheet. After cutting the factory edge, where we had the guide rail splinter guard on that side and the saw blade running on this side, we now need to make the cut on the opposite side. Well, the guide rail needs to have the splinter guard moved, and that means we're switching it end for end. And now we're going to be cutting in the opposite direction. The good workpiece that you're after will always be under the guide rail. So here we are situated now to cut the other side in the opposite direction. Remember that I've already calibrated both of these parallel guides. The flip stops are set. The other thing that I want to point out is I'm using the guide rail square over here as a convenient means of attaching the T-track of the parallel guide to the guide rail. We're not using it right now for squaring, so that's not critical, and I'm leaving a gap here for that reason. Later on, when we're cross-cutting, we will be using it to square and parallel rip cut. So I'm going to bring these up snug, and I'm set and ready to cut again. So now that we've finished our long rip cuts, on this panel here, we again need a clean reference edge. And so we're going to trim the mill edge off of this. And for that, I'm setting up a shorter rail just for convenience sake. And my piece is square. Everything is set up, calibrated, ready to go. This will be very quick. Now comes the best part. Cross-cutting in one operation where we're square and we're parallel. And away we go. As you can see, with the proper technique and good tools, you can get the expected results. Now, if you're relatively new to this method of woodworking or woodworking in general, let me remind you that woodworking, after all, is a craft. And probably what we admire about it in the first place, what attracts us to it. Let me end with a quote from Mark Spagnolo, the wood whisperer, who posted this on social media. And he said, and I quote, "I urge you not to let the whole perfection thing get in the way of making actual progress." And we wholeheartedly agree and second that because it's about enjoyment of the work, not only making cabinets and woodworking pieces. So with that, I wish you all the success and enjoyment. Go forth.